Okay. Welcome parents to Marine Ecology. Thank you so much for watching this video, this virtual back to school night. My name is Cassie Brooker and I have been your students teacher for 4 weeks, and I'm having a great time getting to know them and teaching them all about the ocean and the life that exists there. So that's what we're talking about in this class. We're talking about 3 main categories. The ocean habitat, we've already talked about the sea floor. We've done some with seawater and deep sea circulation. We've talked about Arctic ice. So the general habitat, and then what lives in there, the inhabitants, and what makes them suited for the particular environment that they live in. And then overarching theme will be human impact on the ocean, both positive and negative. A little bit about myself. This is my 15th year in education, my 11th year at Laguna Beach High School, and I absolutely love it here. The students are the best, and there's so much support that I couldn't ask for a better district to work in, especially where you're limited only on your creativity. There's resources that we have in abundance that if I can dream it, I can do it, and I'm very thankful for that. Let's see. Also on here, I had my students tell me what their spirit animal would be if they lived in the ocean, and mine was an orca because my family is everything to me, and that's my pod, and I like to keep my young close. In the middle, I have my 2 daughters, Colette, she's a 2nd grader at Top of the World, and my 2-year-old Juliet, she's at home. And I was born and raised in Oregon. I have an identical twin sister who lives up there as well. And then that is my husband, John, of 10 years. My main passion in science is molecular biology. I love DNA. I love central dogma, how you can take a cell and the DNA and make something so spectacular, interconnected like the human body. I also love teaching about marine animals and marine science. It's become an unexpected passion of mine as well. So hopefully I can get your students excited in learning about this topic and asking and answering their own questions, and just general love for the ocean, which is ultimately their backyard, the ocean. Okay, some practical announcements. Canvas, as you guys know, is going to be our new learning platform. That's where we do everything now. That was like the one request from last semester with distance learning, is that we have one place for everything, and that's what Canvas is. It's also going to be your most accurate grade. And I don't know if you guys know, but Canvas is synced to Aries, but I have to click a button. So sometimes I forget to click the button to sync it to Aries. So they don't talk if I don't press that button, but keep Canvas as your forefront. That's your most accurate grade. And by the time I push grades out through Aries, everything will be clicked and counted for their grade. So Canvas is your best, most accurate location for everything for this class. It's a good central hub. This class will have 3 types of assignments. We have labs, classwork, and assessments. All my grades are non-weighted. All points are equal. A point is a point no matter where you get it. It takes away the game of students not taking assignments seriously if I don't need points in that category. Like, oh, I don't need notebook points, I'm not going to do it. Whereas that assignment might be meaningful, they might not treat it as such because they don't need those points. So you'll see small assignments as 2 points. That would be someone with a low time investment and a low cognitive load. Whereas a larger assignment that takes more time and has more thinking to it would be up to 10 points. So between 2 and 10 points, usually even numbers, just kind of obsessive about that, will be the types of point values we have seen in Canvas. All right, labs have turned out to be a bright side. I have enjoyed having your students have that one-on-one contact with these supplies, being 10 hours together with synchronous learning. With their own lab supplies, they're able to get, I believe, more out of the experience. So they have a very robust lab kit. They're getting another one this week that will have some live specimens in there. It's been nice teaching somewhere with the ability to have these kits and have marine biology brought home. They're going to do a shark dissection. They're going to see these things for themselves and not just virtually. So it kind of helps bring that in-class learning home. And they'll return the kits at the end of the trimester. So that's definitely been a perk of this distance learning, is the FaceTime the kids have with their lab supplies, and that learning has been pretty rich in my opinion. Classwork. So classwork, we're doing digital notebooks. And so usually I have them split screen, the Pear Deck and the digital notebook. And then the Pear Deck is my way of assessing if they're doing and answering the right questions, and if they're finding the right material, and if they're learning it. So Pear Deck and interactive notebooks go hand in hand. And the notebook's like a central place for them to keep all that we're doing in class. I use Edpuzzle for case studies, things that I want to jump to in a little bit more depth, and they can watch on their own and take their time answering the questions. So yeah, digital notebooks, Pear Deck, Edpuzzle, learning games, etc. is what we're doing beyond labs. Assessments. I think for me, the topic of assessments comes down to what I put in the right corner, time management. I'm given 12 weeks with your student. What do I want to do with those 12 weeks? And in my mind, I'm like, I don't want to spend days and hours with study guides and review sessions and assessments when I can do that differently and more creatively, like allowing them to process what they know with a Flipgrid, whether they do a demo in front of the camera and they explain what's happening and make connections to that, to the real world. So Flipgrid will be where they do their teaching and their narration of their understanding. Quizzes is a fun game format. There I can get some quick data on the student's understanding. Google Forms would probably be the platform that I would use the most if I were to give them a quiz. And then Pear Deck is helping me always just gather data and figure out like, okay, do we understand this? Do we not? Are we ready to move on? It helps me keep pace, which is probably the hardest part about teaching virtually. It's just setting a good stride for the students, not too fast and not too slow. I hope to impart to them skills and not just stuff about the ocean. So as a scientist, with that Flipgrid, just communicating what they know in a detailed yet concise manner. So I try to work with details with them. It doesn't mean it's long. It just means it's better if it's detailed. Scientific inquiry, learning to ask the right questions and find your own answers. I mean, the ocean right now, I compare the research there to fresh snow. There's just so much to learn compared to the size about the ocean that we don't know. And it's kind of like ripe for research. So learning to ask the right questions and the right processes to get those answers. We do these labs, and I'm trying to get them to make connections between what we just did in that demo to what we're learning about in class. So just processing and analysis of data. Practical skills, they're learning by necessity. They have the technological skills as well as the executive functioning, which just basically means they have to learn how to be their own boss, kind of like the ride or die philosophy. And then information retrieval and revision and just having an idea, but being willing to get more information and revise your idea and creating these models where I thought I understood this, but then we learned this and now I've got to change what I understand and just take a thought more as an evolving entity than something that is just fact. Okay. And then late work is 70% credit. They are not wrecked if they do not do an assignment, but it also will not be full credit no matter how late. And then after 1 week, an assignment closes and that box that's red or missing will turn to a 0. So thank you very much for your time. Thank you for your students. They've been incredible. They've been hardworking and they've been respectful. And I have enjoyed the 4 weeks that I've had with them. And I look forward to the next 7 to 8. Email with me with any questions.